Hey
Well,
everybody, hey from Dubai.
welcome back to our
uh,
AMA.
yeah, sorry for the blurry background here. There's some kittens that I'm trying to rescue, and they're like going nuts right now and running around and doing crazy kitten stuff. So I didn't want you guys to be distracted by that. But yeah, very good to be back in Dubai, and very good to see all of you guys again. I kind of honestly, I missed the the AMA last week because I was traveling, but like, I really felt like, man, I really want, like, I was at the airport and I was like texting messages and things like that, and that was the best that I could do to participate. But
You were
I
awesome,
really
man.
enjoy doing these AMAs.
You were a
Yeah,
great troll.
and I genuinely felt its absence when I wasn't able to do it last week. So I'm glad to be back and be able to do it here. It is rather late our time, so I don't know if we're going to go for a full hour. It's 10 p.m. currently local time here in Dubai on a Friday night. And as you guys know, that's usually the time to get lit. And now that I'm back in Dubai, I kind of plan to do that. So, how's everybody else doing this day, this fine, I guess it's afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now?
No way in Digital Ninja are typing, so
Okay,
doing great.
yeah. Everybody's doing good. That's great. Great to hear. Um, just, like Saki broke last week and last week's AMA, good news all around. I know typically in these NFT projects, especially when they start to really take off in terms of community interest and things like that, it's usually when they raise, I'm going to say, what would you say, Sakib, like $1 million capital, something
At
like that?
least, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of projects raise like 3 million before they get started.
We barely crossed the 150K threshold.
Yeah.
And we're already kicking ass and taking names. As we shared with you guys in the free parking, that Sakib and I were looking around and we're looking at existing sites. We've got a client that was going to get a half a megawatt from us. Unfortunately, part of their venture capital group fell through, and they only had enough to do a quarter of a megawatt. And they were like, really, really, we really want to do this. Like, we talked to all these guys, and their heart's set on moving forward with this, and we just don't have the other half of the capital. And we were like, I have an idea. All right. Yeah, it looks like the cats are just really going nuts on the drapes right now,
Oh
and
boy.
I might have to shoo them away.
No worries.
This is kind of the witching hour for them. Um, but Sakib and I, at the same time, like, this is kind of, I don't want to say happenstance or the stars aligning, but um, we found a local here that, I guess the easiest way to explain it, Sakib, is he kind of got too many things going at once, and he
Yeah,
wanted to consolidate.
exactly.
Um, so how many plots of land did he originally get? It was like 8 or 10 or
Eight.
something like that.
Yeah, he got 8 plots
And
and he doesn't have enough to buy miners now.
he spread himself too thin. And so there's these existing plots of land. They haven't had the infrastructure upgraded to the extent that the power upgrade has been done, but the structure itself for mining, and we took video and we showed you guys this, those already exist. And those are like turnkey, ready to go. And I think if all things go well, guys, in I would say 2 to 3 weeks, we should have you guys mining. Should have you guys, getting hash rate and earning hash rate. So um, we'll keep you informed. Monday, I think, Sakib, is when you and I are going to close on the leases.
Yeah.
And then after we close on the lease, then we're going to just put in the order for your miners. And I think to date, we're at about 50 miners. So I think
Yeah,
the
50
first order will be 50 machines. Now, keep in mind, guys, like between now and Monday, when we put that order in, however many other NFTs are sold, like that's going to be, put on the pile. Once we put that order in, we're going to have to wait until the pile stacks up a little bit higher before we put in another order. Because it's all about ordering in bulk. That's how we get our discounts and get our great prices on miners. But 50 machines seems to be like the perfect number. But again, prove me wrong. You've got the weekend, to make it 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 machines. It's at your leisure, but whatever's going in that first order should be up and running and getting hash results within, 2 weeks, 3 weeks
Yeah, I mean,
tops, I would say, because the infrastructure is already there. We have, minus the power upgrade, and that's kind of the beauty of these sites is that a significant amount of power is there. I would say about a quarter of a megawatt per site that we looked at, Sakib.
yeah, about 220 to 240 kilowatts. So about, I would say, yeah, about 60, that's about 60 miners per plot.
And I have to be honest with you guys, our biggest hurdle right now, it's not getting the miners, it's not even getting the infrastructure or access to the power between the three sites. I think there's almost a full megawatt. Our biggest hurdle right now is the damn dashboard. I didn't know how many people were going to join Monopoly, so I was kind of dragging my feet on building that out. And kind of my initial take was that, it was going to take some time before, we would get a half a megawatt or 1 megawatt or whatever. So, we really didn't put a sense of urgency on our developers to build out the dashboard. But rest assured, even without the dashboard technology built, we will, keep track of everything. We will keep you guys apprised of everything. If we need to share our pool dashboard so you can see the hash or whatever, if we need to make a spreadsheet, just like, when we're reimbursing the gas fees or whatever, and every week I give you guys, your Bitcoin to your Bitcoin wallets. We will work it out. We'll find it out. But I I don't know. Like I don't want to apologize because I didn't really see this project getting to the minimum value, and so I didn't really feel like it was worth the sense of urgency and me, putting our own company funds to kind of push this out so fast, so quickly. But now that realistically I can see that we can get this project mining and we can get it mining much sooner and at a much lower threshold, um, believe me, it's going to be all hands on deck to get the dashboard built out for you guys. But um, I really appreciate your patience. Like I said, we'll prove that the hashing is happening and that you guys will get your payouts. And if we have to do them manually from the beginning, how many members do we have now, Sakib? It's less than 50, right?
Yeah, less than 50, I believe. The last.
Okay, so that's manageable
Yeah,
for a short period of time manually.
and we are
But like I
actively.
said, we'll make sure.
I mean, and we are also actively looking for a dev that's going to be able to help us build the dashboard. So, but it's been difficult to find someone that's just right for our team.
Yeah, the real issue that we're coming upon is our full-time in-house dev, he is just not comfortable with doing anything blockchain wise, which is it's kind of an irony, and it's put us in a situation where we're actually looking for somebody to be a superior to him, because he's been in the crypto space working with us building technology frameworks for years now, and it's kind of inexcusable to not be in tune and up to speed with blockchain technology. Now, albeit NFT space, contracts, things like that, it's a different world. But I'm a developer. I'm an old school coder, and code is code. And if somebody gave me, well, first of all, somebody didn't give me a year to learn it. So, keep how long did I have to learn to write the second gen contract for Monopoly?
I don't. I mean, I think you might have like not even a
About
week,
3 days,
3 days. Yeah, like half a week.
right? Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, so if you guys may have noticed, just to kind of rewind back in tranche one, we had kind of much bigger picture that we were going after. We're going after 50 megawatts, and about halfway through tranche one, I just realized like we're not even going to do close to this. We're not going to get nowhere near that. It's too ambitious. So I decided to scale everything back and bring it down to just one simple phase with 5 megawatts in that phase. And we went to our original contract guy that wrote the contract originally, and like he was dragging his feet, and we did all kinds of things, and things were going nuts, and nobody was delivering any results. So I just buckled down in 3 days and I wrote the second gen contract. So, and then we put it through, a couple of other contract guys, and they made some slight amendments to it. But, basically from tranche two on to the end of this project, that's all my code in that project. And let's see, could you give us a concrete date time to buy more NFTs to be included in this combined first? I said Monday. Monday is when we're going to close on the lease. I mean, it may be Tuesday or Wednesday before we put in the minor purchase order,
Yeah.
but Monday is what I'm anticipating that we close on. We looked at 3 different plots of lands that has not been upgraded, and it's kind of perfect for us in this situation. So, I would say tentatively Monday. You may get Tuesday, you may get Wednesday. There's some things that are out of our control, right? So, we can pay the money for the lease and we can secure that on Monday, but we don't know how long it's going to take to go to the city offices and what is it, RERA, that we have to get the Ajari.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I know I'm kind of speaking like weird words to you guys, so let me kind of just break it down into like more simple English. So here in the UAE, when you make a lease agreement between a landlord and a tenant, you have to submit that agreement to the government.
Yeah.
And then the government certifies that agreement and puts it on record. And what this does is this forces both parties, the tenant and the landlord, to adhere to the renting or leasing rules of the lay of the land, the laws of the land. So, and when they do that, when they certify that, that's called an ijari. I don't even like what is there a translation for ijari?
Uh,
Ijari?
actually,
What does that literally translate into? It's an Arabic word, but
yeah.
anyway, once you have that
Oh,
official document, that's when everybody is binded to the agreement.
my rent. That's what it is.
Okay, my rent. Okay. So, and what that means is that means that the landlord, has to like they can't up the rent, like they can't double the rent the next year or anything like that. They have to adhere to the rules of RERA, which is what is it, the real estate? Can somebody tell me what RERA is too?
Yeah, sure.
Forgive me if I sound ignorant, but I know the process. I just don't know all the minutia of like what all the acronyms
So
and stuff
RERA
mean. I
is
just I
real
know like
real estate regulatory authority.
okay, so it's the regulatory authority over real estate and real estate contracts here in the UAE. And then once we have that in hand, that's when we have the legal standing to say, okay, let's order these miners because this land, the plot, the infrastructure, it's ours. And legally, we've got, ground to stand on to say it's ours. So that's the point where I'm going to pull the trigger. And I don't know, like I got my Jati for my villa right here behind me here. Like it took me like one day. So these things can happen like in one day, might take 2 days. So that's why I'm saying Monday is when we're going to start that process. It could be Tuesday morning, everything's ready to go. We're on legal standing and I'll pull the trigger and put in the order for the miners. It might take a little bit longer than that. Like, I'll give you a good example. When I was getting my Ajari for this villa, the lady was like, I don't know, she was just like being like too whatever. She was being a Karen, but she looked at the signature of the landlord for this property and she claimed that the signatures did not match. So the signature on the lease and then signature on the title deed for this property that like they didn't match or whatever. But I'm kind of a clever guy, and I was like, let me talk to your supervisor. And I went into the supervisor. I didn't even let him look at that. I let him look at my signatures. And I was like, here's my passport, here's my driver's license, and I was like, you can see like my signature's all over the place. And he just kind of looked at me and he was just like, okay, you're fine. And he just like stamped it approval and I got my majority. So there are, stupid little things that can happen like that or whatever. I don't anticipate any problems. It's not going to be a big deal. It might stall things by a day at most. But, that's just to kind of give you guys an idea of the process of what's going on here. As soon as we secure the land lease for the properties, we will be very quickly removing the existing machines, and probably that'll be part of the deal, Sakib, is that we'll
Yeah.
have to work
Yeah.
something out with the previous owner, like maybe to take things down, and kind of settle things offline, clean out their machines, whatever. I'm a studious and respectful person, so I don't want to just, throw those machines on the floor or do anything bad with them. I'll treat them with great care and great respect, but yeah, we'll figure out a plan to move those machines to wherever he's going to consolidate them to and put in the order for our machines. Now, typically, we're going to order from our vendors in China. So typically, that's going to take about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It's a little bit less of a journey here to Dubai than it is to the US. Then we'll take them to the staging shop that we've shown you guys in other videos, and we'll set up and configure all the machines, and then we'll take them out to the new plots of land and plug them in, get you guys mining.
Yeah, I mean, if all goes well,
Any
we should.
questions?
If all goes well, we should be mining in 2 to 3 weeks with the first batch of miners that we're ordering. So anyone that gets their NFTs in by Monday should be included in this first batch of miners that we're going to have mining. Um, as far
Yeah.
as customs clearance, I mean, I've heard, like it really depends on a case to case basis. Like sometimes it takes.
We're not gonna. We've never had any issues with customs. Like, well, okay, go ahead, and like
Well, yeah, I mean,
we've never had an issue to date. But
we haven't had any issues, but from what I hear, I mean, the time can vary from like a few days to a week or 2 weeks. But hopefully, it'll be a few days in our case.
the good news about Dubai, because that's where we're going to import them to, is everybody. I'm trying to give you guys a sense of scale of like the size of Dubai, and compared to Cincinnati, it's way smaller. Like it's probably half the size of Cincinnati, which means there's a problem with anything. We're literally like a 30-minute drive
Yeah.
from, going and talking to the clearance agent or, whoever we need to interface with directly to say, what's the problem? What can we do to solve it? Like, it's not like these things are landing in LA and then, eventually going to come to Cincinnati and we have to clear them in LA and do something where, like, we can literally drive down face to face with these guys. But we've never had any issues. And that's one of the things that gave me a lot of confidence to do mining in the UAE is like, people import cars all the time here. Like, people import, miners. Like, we know royals that have gotten tens of thousands of miners into the country, and like, there's just no, I don't want to say BS, but like, there's just no shenanigans involved with it. Like, it's very straightforward. If you do things the right way, which is, we're going to declare them the right way and we're going to put the, proper bill of sale on them, no problem. 2, 3 days max clears.
Yeah.
Then we take them to the staging site, stage them up. And that kind of segues me to the next part is I came up with the idea of kind of doing an all expense paid for just one member. Now, you have to be a member. You have to show that you're, a membership holder. And secondly, you've got to have a passport. And I guess third is you've got to have a passport from a country that Dubai will easily admit into
Yeah.
the country, right? Like if you're coming from I don't even know. Like Dubai is really great about that. Like they're
Yeah.
very neutral. Like Russians can travel here, Ukrainians can travel here without, getting some sort of official visa. But like if you're coming from a place that like you have to get a pre-approved visa before you come to Dubai, then obviously you won't qualify for it. But those are kind of the prerequisites is that, A, you're a member holder, and B, you have unrestricted travel to Dubai without getting some sort of pre-exempted visa or something like that. Saqib and I would like to give you an all-expense trip, uh, paid, to come hang out with us. What do you think, Saqib? Should it be like 3 days, 4 days, 7 days? What are your suggestions, guys?
Well, I mean, if they want to help us connect the miners, then it's gonna take a few days.
It
Um, so maybe,
it's got to be about a week, man,
yeah,
because
that's what I'm thinking. A week.
I'm still just getting over my jet lag,
Yeah, yeah. I would say 7 days would be good. So that way they'll have some time to,
right?
you know, look
Yeah, I
around
think
Dubai and enjoy some of the things here. I'll do it
guys
for
like
free.
I'm free. um, but yeah, I mean, tentatively, I would like to coordinate like the delivery of the miners with this trip, and like right when the miners arrive, this member arrives, and then we get to take you guys to this staging site and show you how our process, how we configure things, how we get things set up, and then take you out to the actual mining site, which is, like I said, it's turnkey. The power hasn't been upgraded, but all the infrastructure for mining is ready to go. And then you guys can help us, like pull them off the truck. You can learn for yourself. Like, this is what mining is. You pull it off the truck, you set it up, you plug it in, you confirm everything's working okay, you watch it. Um, Guy, I love your energy, man. I love how you're just gung ho on this. So okay, no way. If you're already here, in Dubai, definitely reach out to us. Like if like you can be a part of this, right? We'd love to have you a part of this. So if you're already here in Dubai, if you've already, um, got established here, then yeah, please, definitely, like absolutely, reach out to us, guys. We want to, like, why didn't you let me know? No way. Like you could have gone to the 3 sites with us this week.
Yeah.
Like you can go to this business meeting that we have. We got a lunch going on tomorrow. Like, yeah, let me know, guys. Yeah, for sure. Like, if you're already here in Dubai, definitely connect with us. Like, we could be talking every day and showing you everything that's going on. If, at the very least, just have like, another set of eyes to verify that we're the real deal. Like, we're not BSing anybody. Um, yeah, okay.
Sky's like,
Looks like there's a lot of excitement.
yeah.
Uh, we also had another guy. What Sanjay apparently is here as well, correct? Sanjay D2.
He was, but he's not here right now.
Okay, so he was just like visiting or something like
Yeah, I
that.
think he might have just connected and then disconnected.
No, no, I was saying you said he lived in Dubai, right?
Oh, yeah, Sanjay lives in Dubai as well, in TEC, I believe he said, yeah.
Okay, so any of you guys that are already here, there's no we shouldn't be strangers. We should be friends. There's absolutely no reason why we should not be hanging out. We should not be having lunches, dinners. Like, we can introduce you to our other clients, and like just share with you our love of the industry and the business. There's no reason for us to be strangers at all, guys. So if you're already here, please reach out and connect with us. Absolutely reach out and connect with us.
This guy's like, I'm calling my boss right after this and stuff.
um, yeah, so for those of you who are already established here in Dubai, you are welcome to come along and be a part of this. For those of you who are outside of Dubai, so I'll make that as another requirement is that you have to be a member, and you have to be outside of Dubai, and you have to have a passport that can easily travel into Dubai. And um, like I said, once we get our order in, then we'll have the timing of when the delivery will happen, and we'll be able to, coordinate, your plane tickets and, um, you know, I don't know if you guys want to stay with me at my villa or Sakib at his villa, or if you want to stay in your own place. We can arrange all those things for you, and we'll take good care of you, and hopefully we'll have a great time. I think it'll be a great experience,
Yeah.
and I think it's something that I haven't seen any of these other projects do anything like that. They're really kind of tight-lipped,
Yeah.
and
They
it's
like
kind of
to.
like,
It,
it's what we say, or like nothing else,
I mean, this is involving the
and
community like directly, and integrating them with us, with our operations, with our daily life. And I haven't seen any other project kind of even take that initiative.
well, I mean, I haven't even seen other projects show like proof of like they have a business that's registered in that area to do things. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen that kind of length. I mean, we've shown our business license, and here's something else that's really interesting. Initially, we were going to be really tight-lipped about our business operations and things like that because it's IP, and meaning, if some of these big dogs got wind of what we're doing, even though like the response across the board has been very consistent, right, Sakib? It's like, oh, that's like a no man's land, and one day the royal's going to wake up and say no more mining, and it's going to stop everything. um, and it's just not like that at all over here, guys. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. 90% of the people in the UAE are expats. They are people that are not native Emirates to the UAE. And if the Emirates decided one day, just to, I don't know, like make something criminal or arrest it, how would they be able to do that with what army? Like, they're outnumbered 9-1. um, and that's not their mindset at all. Their mindset is to cooperate. Their mindset is to grow because they understand that they were blessed with this vast amount of oil and energy resources that the world is now taking a tide to. It's now turning to, and they see their future as inclusion and
Yes.
integration. And Sakib, I mean, I've referred to Dubai as the Wall Street of the East.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's what it's trying to be. That's what it's
Exactly.
trying to compete to.
It's
And they
like
know that that is not going to happen
Mhm.
if this stigma is attached to them, that they're this kind of insular people that are not open and friendly, and are going to do these impulsive actions that are going to destroy people's lives and opportunity. They know this, and they know the world, at least the Western world, I would say, sees them this way. And they want to change that. They desperately want to change that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to be here, is because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, my first plane ride over here, I was nervous. I was sweating. I was afraid I was going to look at somebody the wrong way, and they were just going to lock me up in jail and throw me away. And like that was the last you're going to see of Ethan. And I was even joking. Like, I brought along one of our coworkers, Andre, with us, and I was telling Andre on the plane flight. This is a real story here. I was telling him on the plane flight over here. I was like, dude, if your girlfriend sent you any nudes, you need to delete all that shit because if they catch that on your phone, you are straight up going. And I swear to God, for like 8 hours, he was going through his phone and he was deleting all of the nudes that his girl sent him. Um, but like I have to admit, like I came into this place with that kind of ignorance, and the real truth of the matter is that unless you are just absolutely making an ass of yourself, and what I mean by making an ass of yourself is you get totally shit-faced drunk and you decide to go out in the middle of the four-lane roads here and just do donuts for 30 minutes straight. If you do it for 29 minutes and then you run off, you get there before the police come and you're good. But if you do it for 30 minutes and finally the police come, yeah, you're going to go to jail. You're being an asshole. You're going to pay the price for that. Um, but unless you're doing something just over the top, outrageously obvious, that you shouldn't be doing, and you're just stepping on everybody's toes and you're spitting in everybody's face, you're not going to have any problems whatsoever over here.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, our operations, at least our mining operations, I mean, they're way out in the desert where like nobody lives. We're not offending, we're not bothering anybody. We're following the rules. I mean, Sakib, when you went to the power company, what did they do? Did
They
they say, "Oh, Bitcoin mining, we don't allow Bitcoin mining"? What did they do, dude? Tell
they
tell the story.
as I went to their officer, who basically deals with the high tension line, and I told him, about what I want to do is, I want to upgrade the power, and he sat me down. He brought coffee and tea and biscuits. I mean, he was.
Yeah, tea and crumpets. They served his ass tea and crumpets. And they were like, sure, you can do that. And then they recommended an engineer, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
contractor
a
engineer.
power
They're like,
contractor. Yeah,
this is the guy you need to talk to. He does all this work. Like you were not discouraged in one little way, one way, shape, or form. They served you tea and crumpets. Like I've I've never been served tea and crumpets. Yeah, exactly. Just like Aaron was showing. Like they sat around and they were like, let's talk business. Let's make this happen. But I kind of digress, right? So what's happened is they've now limited the amount of licenses that can be done for this activity, meaning that there's only 29 entities that are allowed to do mining with this agricultural power, this really cheap power. And we're number 17. And actually, of the 29 entities, only 17 are allowed to do mining as a service. Like,
yeah,
the other licenses, the remaining
self mining.
licenses, they can only self mine.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if they get caught, violating this, I don't know what the penalty would be for them, and I'm sure somebody's going to test that someday. But we are literally one of 17 licenses that have the ability to do cloud computing services and consulting services, which means we're allowed to work on, with a third party and do services regarding the mining space with a third party. Beyond that, as far as I know, Sakib, we're the only ones that have like a personal relationship with the power company, with all the powers that be
yeah,
that need to get mining done. Everyone else is just kind of like paid somebody else to do it for them.
yeah,
And we're the only ones that are embedded, have, eyes and ears on the ground. If there's a problem, they're even coming to us, and asking, like, what can we do for, a better infrastructure regulation, better codes, things like that. And I mean, when I first came to this country, not in a million years was I expecting to have that kind of integration and that kind of acceptance. But I found the Emirati people to be very warm, very accepting. Sure, there is culture over here, and there is appropriate ways to do things. Like you can't hold hands with a girlfriend in public. You can't kiss your girlfriend in public. But that's okay with me because they're respecting me, so I respect them, and I'm cool with that. That doesn't bother me. Some interesting things too that I just learned this week is you no longer need a license to get to buy alcohol.
yeah. You just have to be a resident or even a tourist to get
And
alcohol too.
well, the tourist visa, you don't need any kind of license at all. But if you became a resident, you had to also get a license so you could buy alcohol, which again, that's just some sort of hurdle or whatever. But now they don't even require that. Also, unmarried partners are allowed to live together over here, which is fine. And another really big, I mean, huge in terms of, like human rights and freedom is unmarried couples are allowed to have children over here now. So you don't even have to be married to have family and to build a family over here. And this has just happened in the short 2 years that I've been here, and this place is so progressive, and every day it's adapting and it's accommodating and it's changing and adjusting to be friendly with the world. And I got to give the UAE props for that, guys. I mean, it's really impressed me. Dark Lord is saying in 2 to 3 weeks we will have miners online. That looks to be the time frame. It may be 3.5 weeks, something like that, but we will keep you guys, intimately informed and apprised of everything that's going on and all the progress that's being made. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. So probably the last week of, let's see, what is this? September? So
September. So I
October?
would say, yeah, by end of October for sure we should be. If all
Yeah.
goes
So
well, we
before
should be.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be November, December, January, February, March, April.
April 6th.
5 months. So that should generate a full ROI just in that time period for the miners, by my calculations, before the halvening. So
And
there should be a full ROI before the halvening, and then everything after the halvening is just going to be pure profit. Boy, we've got a lot of interaction going on this week.
yeah. So the membership NFTs will start count from day one, or they will
the
expire. Okay, go ahead.
the membership NFTs are 365 days from the day you got a membership. That clock starts ticking from the day that you executed that contract.
And Aaron was asking about the payout frequency, weekly or monthly.
Depends on how many miners you hold. If we look at any kind of mining pool dashboard, the way those dashboards work is they wait until you mine a certain threshold, and then you can withdraw, that threshold and beyond for free to your wallet. We wanted to create something very similar. Once you get to a certain threshold of earnings, then you can withdraw to your wallet for free. Now, how fast you reach that threshold depends on how many NFTs you hold.
Right.
So if you hold one NFT, you're going to tick to it slower. If you hold 10 NFTs, you're going to click to it faster. If you hold 40 NFTs, which somebody bought 40 NFTs,
Yeah.
fantastic, before Tranche 3 closed, you're going to tick to that even faster. Now, just like a mining pool, if you want to get a payout every hour or, whatever your heart's desire frequency, you can do that before the threshold, but you will have to pay the transaction fees for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but we can come onto the scene and we can say, we're transparent, we're real, but the truth of the matter is that actions speak louder than words. And I think our actions speak volumes over any other project that's in the space. Every project in the space that I've seen so far, they always raise all the capital first before they make any kind of movement, before they even have any freedom to make any movement. They come up with a plan. It's going to cost X amount of dollars to execute. And until they reach that first step, stepping stone, they don't really have enough funds to buy the miners, to secure the hosting, to do any of those things, right? So everybody's got to wait, and everybody's at the mercy of that wait. They're at the mercy of how fast they can get mints going to get to that threshold. We're really different, guys. We've been embedded in the mining space for years and years and years. We know how to, shake things and move things in the mining space, and we know where opportunity is and cultivate our opportunity and to build and develop those relationships that grow our opportunity. So it's like comparing apples to oranges. Like, we're not figuring it out. Like, we've always got opportunity and options. And it just happened to be, like I said, happenstance or just alignment of the stars. I think a perfect synergy has crossed our paths where we can get you guys going earlier, and that's what we'll do. And I will move at the speed of light for everyone and everything in this project, because for me, it's all about mining,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And
So, yeah, what does it say here? I wish I met you guys
I
3 months prior, 25K to a new
I
mining
think
company.
Dark Lord was asking about
Yeah.
the threshold for the payout for the, I guess, without the fee. And obviously that's going to be similar to what a mining pool has, and I think it's like 0.005 maybe. I'm not sure exactly, but basically it's like every month if you would,
Well,
yeah, and
well, I mean, it's a detail we're gonna have to iron out. It's not something that we can preemptively tell you because we're gonna negotiate with the mining pool itself
right,
to negotiate their thresholds and their payout agreements and things like that. Honestly, guys, 50 miners, it's not a lot of machines, so it doesn't really give us strong legs to stand on. But once we figure out what their free threshold is for our distribution wallet, then we can kind of crunch the numbers and figure out what your threshold should be as well.
right,
So it's not something that I can like psychically, because I can't predict. I don't know. Between now and Monday, we may get another 300 mints. I don't know what will happen.
right.
So it's kind of hard for me to predictively say what those things are until I have hard facts to establish what those things are first.
But yeah, it's important to understand that you can withdraw at any time. It's just, there'll be a fee.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to pay the transfer fee out of the withdrawal.
Yes, it is recorded.
Um,
It is being recorded. It'll be on
yes,
YouTube.
it is being recorded. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to be shady or anything like that. I am being, crystal clear and transparent until we know the final number of machines and what their yield is per day and what our thresholds, and we're going to negotiate with the pools. That's another advantage with our project that others don't have is that, we have a long-standing reputation with NiceHash, with Brains,
Yeah.
with, like you
Luxor.
you name it, Luxor, easy was it easy to pull or something like there's all these other ones that are kind of more obscure that are reaching out to us. So we have a lot of options that we can work to collaborate with them and say, hey, this is kind of a special situation. We need you guys to help us out with, and get them to kind of move things around. But again, it's always going to be first things first, right? I need to know what I'm standing on first before I can do those next steps. But once we do those next steps, I'll be happy to share it with you. I'm not trying to be shady or dodge it. I'm just being realistic. I've got to know what I've got to work with before I can give you those hard facts.
Yeah.
Any other questions or anything like that? Because that's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Sky. As Sakib was mentioning, it's something like 0.005,
Yeah.
or it seems to be like the industry standard.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be, just to give you guys a general idea, it shouldn't be out of line with the industry standard. It should be something very close to the general industry standard. Um, just to be more specific, but again, I'm not going to have the hard facts and the hard numbers until I've got the hard facts and the hard numbers of what we're standing with. And then I'll be able to say more.
No worries, Rebel. Always good to see you here. I think Rebel sniped a bunch
Yeah,
of NFTs too before the tranche closed today.
tell
Oh,
us about this bullish news here, Aaron.
make sure you go back and listen. It'll be on YouTube as it is every Friday. So
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bullish situation because we're still in a bear market. But like I said, it's a situation where I'm always looking for answers. I'm always looking for solutions. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna sit back and just say, it is what it is. It's a problem. It's this. It's that. No, I'm gonna find a way.
yeah,
And again, I think we've said this very early on. We've kind of laid it out, but it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to see it. And you guys will learn in time. Just hang around me long enough. You will know that I'm a guy that makes stuff happen. Like I do not sit around and twiddle my thumbs about anything.
um,
I'm always moving at the speed of light. And if I can find a way, go ahead, Skip.
I think. Sorry to interrupt you there. I was going to say that Crypto Antiquity. He asked a good question. What happens to NFT holders who purchase after this first combined tranche gets built? Do they get added to the existing ones since it's not 0.5 megawatts yet?
So that's a great question. And our tentative response right now is that these plots of land have not had the power upgrade request done yet,
Yeah.
meaning they can be requested to be upgraded to a full megawatt. So while this initial batch will be mining with the power that is currently there, any further batches from there will then be given on the power upgrade. And so and I mean it really depends. Like, tell me what I should do if I only need to add 10 more miners. Would that be worth me putting the power upgrade to double the amount of power at the space? Wouldn't make sense, right? So if it's something like just 10 more miners, then that would make sense to just integrate into our existing operations because we can squeeze those in. But let's say it goes to another 50 or 150 miners or something like that. Then that justifies me putting in the power upgrade request for that site and getting that done. So those batches outside of this batch will have to wait until that power upgrade gets implemented. The good news is the infrastructure and everything is already there. It's turnkey. So when the power upgrade happens, well, one of these sites that we have, it already has a half a megawatt transformer.
True.
It's only running
Yeah.
one leg off of it, meaning that literally to upgrade it to a half a megawatt, all they have to
Just
do
go
is
on.
run a cable from the transformer
That's it.
to our electrical room, which we were told, what was it, 2 weeks to do that
It's like
upgrade?
2 to 4 weeks approximately.
Okay, 2 to 4 weeks. So, um, and again, that's why, we're looking at these plots of land is because they have lots of flexibility and lots of options to them. And, I would say if it gets to that level, then that's what we would start looking at is we would look at running that other leg, which would take about 2 to 4 weeks to do the upgrade.
Yeah. All right. I know you said you wouldn't go the whole hour, but it's been a pretty big audience, decent audience today, and I
Holy
think,
crap. Time flies when you're having fun, man.
yeah, exactly. When I was alone, it was hard for me to get to an hour. I was like, I'm talking to myself.
Well, hopefully me, kicking in Newark,
That was
New Jersey,
that was
kicking in
awesome.
some funny things.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, so just to clarify and to go over everything, Sakib and I looked at multiple plots of land this week, and these plots of land are pre-power upgrade. And the interesting thing about it is normally we won't build a structure until we know the power. So for some reason, this other guy jumped the gun and he built, all the infrastructure ready to go. And then he got in over his head and he's like, okay, I'm going to consolidate down. I don't need these sites. Um, his loss is our gain. It's absolutely our gain.
Yeah.
And, it was offered up to us and we were like, this is a fit because we've got a client for a quarter of a megawatt. We've got you guys, which are nearly a quarter of a megawatt. And we can make this work. We can see how these
Yeah.
dots connect.
I mean,
Normally we build from scratch and it takes, anywhere from 3 to 4 months. These are existing sites. Some of them, already have a half megawatt transformer in place. So all we've got to do is run another leg out of that half megawatt. Um, so yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just kind of a serendipitous happenstance that, all the stars aligned and this came across. But, rest assured, guys, I don't sleep, like on these things. If I see a way to make it happen, I will make it happen.
yeah, I mean, the
Um,
infrastructure's already
and
built, the
like I
cooling's
said,
already done, so I mean, we just have
yeah,
to.
I mean, I was talking with you, Sakib, this week, in our morning meeting together. I was like, okay, what are we gonna do if Monopoly blows up? Right now we've got a quarter of a megawatt, which we can easily accommodate. But if Monopoly blows up to like 2 megawatts, what are we gonna do? Well, between these sites, we can put in the power upgrade
Exactly.
request and we can fill that. So, it wasn't until I had that confidence that I could say, okay, this is going to be a good situation that's dynamic and flexible for whatever happens in the Mineopoly project. That's when I made up my mind and I said, let's do this. Let's close on these leases on Monday.
Exactly. That is what we around, that's what we're doing. On Monday, we're gonna hopefully get the leases signed and get the ball rolling.
And one last thing I'd like to say in closing, because if you guys are part of our private channel, you know some information, and I would rather fail honestly than to succeed by being deceptive. Like, um, for me, Monopoly is kind of a social experiment. It's my opportunity to share with genuine people, um, the genuine mining experience. And, maybe we could have paid more influencers. Maybe we could have been like really, really aggressive and just throwing money at anybody who would say Monopoly in their mouth. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want it to be all about greed and just like always talking about money, 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 money. You're going to make more money. You're going to double your money. You're going to triple your money. Da, da, da. For us, it's all about the mining, and that's what we wanted the focus of this project to be on. And like I said, I'm grateful and so glad that all of you guys decided to come in and join us on our journey. Um, but if it means we don't get to a half megawatt, so be it. I'm not crying. I'm not sweating over that. Like if this gets only to a quarter of a megawatt or a third of a megawatt or three-quarters of a megawatt, I'm okay with that. What's most important to me is that, I did my level best to give a genuine way into the mining space for the everyday person. And I think
Exactly.
we've delivered that in spades.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the
And I
day,
will always sleep easy.
it goes back to us and how when we started back in 2016, we were mining in our basement, and at that point, power cost wasn't really a big issue. I mean, you were making money if you were plugging in your miner.
You can mine at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. You can plug it in your garage and you can mine at home.
But people don't have that opportunity
Yeah.
now. It's gone so institutional. And then if
You
you
don't.
want, a decent power rate, anything less than 5 cents a kilowatt hour, you're going to have to invest a significant amount of money. I mean, it's kind of closed off to the
Oh
everyday
yeah.
person. And we kind of wanted to give this opportunity to share a part of our operations and what we do, so that people can go along for the ride with us.
So yeah, we'll just say in closing, we really appreciate knowing all you guys. We really appreciate all your encouragement and support. Um, I would love the idea of doing the contest with the members and bringing one of you guys over here, so you can come and experience it firsthand instead of it just being something that you watch through a video or something like that. You can feel the weight of these machines. You can see what they do. To hear hundreds of machines running, that's an experience of its own. To feel the heat coming off of these machines, that's an experience of its own. I would love to share that with you guys, and I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. The word of mouth is working. We started out this week with, I think, 297 members or 294 members. We're now at over 300, which is like the first time. I mean, we've broken 300, but like people kind of flake out or something. It's gotten up to like 301 or 302, and then like the next time I look at it, it's down to 297. But now I think we're at a solid. How many, Sakib? What is it saying?
Let me see. I think it's
Oh, I can't see it on my computer.
yeah. I have to go back into let's see, free parking.
It's fine, but
Yeah,
I can see things are growing, and I can see things are growing organically, and it's not because we are paying influencers or doing any kind of like hard marketing campaigns. It's because you guys are going out, you guys are talking, you guys are maybe going to other projects that we know are not so good, and maybe voicing your opinion on YouTube, or you know just reaching out to the people in your circles, and it's growing, it's happening.
yeah. Can you still hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
You're good.
because something happened when I when I went to check the number of members. Yeah, it's I think my screen froze or whatever. But
I would love to have Alex come out, and you know we we've talked briefly about it, but he seems to be like super, super busy. I'm gonna be
Just a second here.
that, and so I think I'm gonna use that as kind of my reference site that I'm gonna get the drone footage and things with. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, mining, it's more about, you know, what you yield from your result, you know, how pretty things look. But you know, to everybody else in the world, I totally understand where you're coming from. I mean, nobody cares about an ugly car that's super fast. Everybody, you know, wants to look at the really beautiful car that might not be as fast. So I understand the psychology with it, and we'll do our best to get, like I said, some beautiful drone footage and things like that. Especially once we secure these sites, we're going to start putting our logos and our branding on the buildings and things like that. So that'll be really cool. I'm looking forward to showing that off. All right, I think that, yeah, right.
It's like buying a
Yeah,
big rig. Digital Ninja's like my price today
it is
varies between 15 cents and 50. Oh boy. Re-
right.
Recording's gonna be uploaded right
The
after
recording should
this.
be
So,
okay. Yeah, it should be uploaded shortly. I'm gonna sign off here, guys. It was great having you again. I'm so happy to share this news with you. Look forward Monday showing you guys copies of the contract, and even further when we get the Ajati, just like I explained, you know, that's when it's officially registered and has legal standing. We'll send you guys copies of that. We're gonna, you know, everything will be documented, clearly documented, available to public search. You know, you can go to the RERA website, you can look up our Ajati number, you can see that it's real, you can see that it's official. I look forward to sharing all that stuff with you guys. And getting you guys mining. I mean, that's what it's all about, you know, right? It's all about getting you guys mining. All right, so I'm going to sign off here, and I hope you
alright.
guys all have a great weekend. I'll see you next Friday.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.